She gets up and she says, Patrick, this is very hard for me to say this. And let me tell you why it's very hard. I said, what's that? She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. We do very well. I've made millions of dollars. My people and my work that work at the salon, they do very well for themselves. I drive a nice car, I have a nice house, I have money, I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. I need them. And I'm like, what? She's saying this in front of 2,000 people with her sister sitting right next to her. Wow. And now she's getting emotional. How many 65-year-old women do we have to hear saying that I marched with the feminist movement and I bought into the fact that men are the enemy? I've never been married. I'm alone and I'm miserable and I wish I would have never bought into that philosophy.
Women knowing how difficult the male experience is 101. And look, at least that woman was honest, but the wall has indeed no mercy. She opened her salon, made millions, and now drives a nice car. All of that just to realize that she needs a husband. The wall is fascinating, and these women will never assume they've hit it unless they're 100% honest, which is quite rare. Let's check some comments. 65 years old and now wants a husband? Great Scott, Batman. I opened a salon. That is the most female profession I can think of. I got married at 21. All the old screechy feminists cackled against me. 19 years later, I'm still married and joyful. I never understood why women need to compete with men. They need to compete with themselves to be a better, stronger, smarter, kinder person. I've never met a happy feminist. I dropped my phone when he mentioned she's 65. That's incredibly sad. Women work hard to show they don't need men. Men work hard to get women. Pride cometh before a fall. She was competing with people who weren't even paying attention to her. I worked in a nursing home. I took care of so many single feminists. They all regretted not getting married and having children. Being old and alone is brutal. Speaking of feminism, listen to what these women think that movement really is.
What if I told you that feminism is not actually about equality? Agree, disagree?
It's about awareness.
Awareness?
I would
Wait,
like,
did Madison dip?
no, I think she went to the bathroom maybe.
Okay.
But I would like to hear what you think feminism is, or what your...
Yeah.
Because I took my definition straight from the dictionary. At least from what I remember.
Yeah.
It could have changed now. They like to change definitions now.
Yeah. I mean, I think, the most charitable definition that I could give feminism is, it's not, again, this is the most charitable definition I give it. It's not an equality movement, it's a women's advocacy movement. And there's nothing wrong with women's advocacy, but to try to paint feminism as seeking true equality. See, feminists don't fight for equality if said equality does not come at the benefit of women. If there is no benefit to be reaped by a form of equality, feminists will not fight for it. Therefore, it is not a true equality movement, because if there was a form of equality that would, in some conceivable way, come to the detriment of women, but equalize the genders, for example, military conscription, feminists will not fight for it. Even if you're granted equality, for example, with if you equalized military conscription to the point where both men and women had to register for the selective service, had to, if they both had to be conscripted in wartime, that would be equality. But it's the case in today, women were able to secure the vote without having the corresponding responsibility of being conscripted into war. So, and even to this day, women are not subject to military conscription in the US and the vast majority of Western countries where we have feminist movements and where we otherwise have equality between the sexes.
So from like my definition of feminism, like I cited, like the belief that men and women are equal, and I kind of take like your version of it. I mean, I know you're not a feminist, but like we are equal in value. We are not equal in like. We're just not equal. Like we can't. It's comparing apples to oranges. It's like two completely different things. So that's kind of where I see it, and I don't know. It's taken. Since I've kind of switched political leanings, it's taken me a while to kind of like reclaim the term feminist, because like I do just believe in that, like we are equal in value, and I think that's like important. And it goes into a whole bunch of other different definitions. I guess everybody interprets it differently, but like that's my belief of like what true feminism is.
Look at what she said. It was all about her opinions and feelings, not an unequivocal, universal definition the whole feminist movement agrees with. Whether they like it or not, women are 99.9% of the time focused on their feelings and not the facts.
I think another aspect of feminism that really bothers me is this obsessive culture of making women go into work and encouraging women to work, which I'm a huge fan of. Like I love I think we're all
Corporate
Americans
queen.
and we should pursue our dreams in our career, but not at the expense of your family. And so they're leading women into this corporate life that's so unfulfilling, and it's just like honestly buying into this whole capitalist system where you're just sitting at your desk all day and you leave behind no legacy and you have no family and there's no fulfillment. And as someone who works and also has a daughter, I will tell you every day of the week, every second of the day, being a mom is way more fulfilling and important to me than whatever career is happening. And that doesn't say that you can't be passionate about your career, but I think there is no focus on that with women. Instead, it's go into the corporate machine, work all day, freeze your eggs, we'll pay for your abortion. And I think that's so toxic and detrimental to women.
If more women thought like her, the world would be a way better place. No feminism, no gaslighting, no dumb narratives, and also way fewer single moms.
I think that I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but we also have to always acknowledge that that's a luxury that so many women don't have. And so like in this time where a lot of women do need to work and they don't have the luxury of, getting to spend that time like with their children in that way, that feminism, there's aspects of feminism that do benefit women. Just like there's aspects of feminism that might hurt women and hurt men, the same way there's aspects of masculinity in this modern movement that are positive, but there's also aspects that hurt men and hurt women. And I think it's on both sides. It's not like who's to blame. Is feminism to blame? Is masculinity to blame? But I think there's issues on both sides.
Once Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard, the cost of living has gone through the roof, especially in the last couple of years. None of this whole insanity and crisis is random. It's all orchestrated by some individuals who just want to break the family unit and indoctrinate kids. As a result, unless the man makes top dollar, the woman also needs to work. Sustaining a household with just one income is very hard.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a one size fits all. Oh my gosh, feminism is the only thing that's ever gone wrong. I think it's the breakdown of traditional gender roles in the family. I think there's a reason why this existed throughout history and has been successful. And I think there's this attitude with people nowadays where they think that everyone that came before us is stupid and we're going to create this whole new world. And I think we can learn from people of the past and their successes and like what created happiness and what created fulfillment. And like I said, my whole thing is I think feminism is very counterproductive to women. And like even going into a whole nother aspect of this, when I see actual civil rights deterioration for women, which is what feminism should stand up for, like the transgender movement that now is allowing men to basically become women just because they like stereotypically feminine things, putting on dresses and heels, and now they're invading our sports teams, our locker rooms. Like these are civil rights that we've fought for and now are being eroded by men. And then I rarely see feminists standing up against that.
Wow, a woman like that, if she's 100% genuine, is a keeper. Now that men can identify as women and vice versa, the concept of a woman is subjective. What a clown world. By the way, I'd like to identify as a UAE taxpayer just so I don't have to pay any taxes to these big daddy governments we've got in the West. Sadly, that's not possible because these governments are all about money and control. Let's check some comments. Power without responsibility. It's a luxury because of feminism. Feminism made it necessary economically. They practically doubled the workforce, and with equality legislation, they got rid of the family wage. In the past, a man with a wife and children got paid more than a single man for the same job, so women complained they were not getting paid equal pay for equal work. So it ended now families can't afford to live on a single income any longer. Mostly. Only 20% can afford to. But in the old days, a janitor could afford a family. Now, let's check why men's boundaries are toxic according to modern women.
Oh,
don't.
I think they don't have a concept of like healthy boundaries that a guy naturally knows, like not talking or keeping communication with men you've slept with in the past. That's like a big no for guys, like, because we know that dude is just a predator, just sitting around waiting for his chance to get another taste.
I understand that modern women today are just like trash, basically. But sometimes
not all of them.
Not all of them.
There are good women out there.
Yeah,
there are
not
good
all
women
of
out
them.
there.
But
the mainstream is showing that women are trash.
But I think the problem is historically none of the 95% of women would be disqualified. That's the crazy when you think about it. Like in terms of the last 1,000 years, 95% of women today would be disqualified.
Do you know what you said earlier? You said, how would a man know which girl to pick if he is not experienced? It goes the same way to a woman. How would she know what kind of man is a certain man if they don't experience?
Her dad.
Okay, the same way a man should look at his mom then.
And this is the thing
because women are dumb.
Okay, see, no,
think about it. When women are in charge of her own mate selection, so the last 100 years, what's different is women are now in charge of mate selection. That has never happened in all of history. It's always been the families and the fathers. So now that women have more control, the most control ever of mate selection, what has happened? Our mate choices are terrible when we have the most power to choose. Entertainers, rappers, even if it's not like a worldwide celebrity, like so many women date rappers in their 20s, entertainers in their 20s, basketball players. So it's like these men are not monogamous. They're not typically like the traditional husbands.
But I feel like,
and let's not forget NBA, NFL, or soccer players.
For me personally, the problem with these type of conversations where people say like modern women are falling off and so on and so forth, is that they don't really talk about why women are falling off. Women are falling off is because men fell off. Men were becoming weak. Dads were not in the home no more. Men are
who's kicking the dads out of the homes?
Don't try and say it's the women.
No. Who's initiating divorces? Who's
the women, but why?
Who's tearing the families apart?
The women, but why?
The number two reasons, I can't remember what they were, but it was like when that started to happen, which was like the 70s and the 80s. Rachel, if you're in the chat, let me know what they were. But it was like emotional, like just not being happy.
Emotional differences.
Was one of the top two. Women get divorced for stupid reasons.
And listen, listen. So you girls you're mad, you girls can all agree that the modern men right now, you really don't like them, right?
Well,
no, they just feel like they're too weak.
Yeah, so the panel right here is pretty unanimously across. They don't like what these guys are.
Depends on the modern men you're going for, because like there's some good guys out there.
Yeah. There are,
and then depends on what you like, the kind of places you go to, the kind of people you mingle with.
Yes.
That's the kind of men you're gonna meet. If you like hanging out in the hood, going clubbing every single time, you're gonna meet a stupid guy. No offense, some of them are good.
Can
out
I just
there.
say something?
Yeah, but wait. I want to add on to my point real quick. The point I'm trying to say is this, right? So you guys are dissatisfied with the state of the modern man. It seems unanimously. Yeah. The majority of these men are raised by women.
Strong, independent, single moms end up dealing with sons that are criminals and daughters that are hoes, but I guess saying this is something modern women will hardly accept.
Okay.
And what motivates men?
Sex.
So if the quality of men like decreased, maybe it's because the reward at the end of what does a guy think about it? Most guys want a genetic legacy, right? And so let's say they find the good woman to start a family with. They have no guarantee she won't leave because divorce is legal. Mm-hmm. And so what's at the end of this for him?
Can I just say something?
And a virgin, get out of here. Good luck.
Women are incredibly bad at picking and choosing men right until the wall comes. If, at all, they'll want a nice guy at that particular time. Yeah, only after getting ran through by a bunch of dudes. Let's check some comments. Yeah, but men. Yeah, but men. Yeah, but men. How would women know what kind of man she's dealing with? It's easy. I'll give you one chance where you pick an asshole, but the second, third, fourth, 20th, I'm sorry, you are dumb or don't care. And there is a big difference between men and women picking wrong. For men, they're trying to pick one of the few % of women who are good women in terms of what men want, and then hope that she doesn't turn into a bad woman later on and screw him over later. For women, they ignore the vast majority of men, 80% plus, who for the most part are good men and generally are at their level, and go for the top few percent, knowing that the chances that the small percentage they go for, almost all will just pump and dump them. So basically, men almost have no choice but pick a bad / not so good woman because that is almost all there is, while women purposefully pick bad men and then become bad women, due to being emotionally broken as well as other things, for the other men who she may decide to try to be with when they hit the wall. 4 women on a couch, combined IQ 7.5. Most of father figures on TV are portrayed as stupid and incapable. They have made people think that the household is better if there's only a mother, and mothers are the worst parents because they pamper lies to children so they don't hurt their feelings. That's what women do. Fathers have to be honest with their children and burst their bubbles. Being honest is a sign of respect, and that's what most people want, including children. Guys, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more daily content. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.